Hello and welcome back to another one. So Eminem was recently on Shade 45 and he had a lot to talk about, including a funny revelation about a conversation he had with Michael Jordan that sounded funnier in his head, among other things. And just before we dive in, remember to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, turn on notifications to never miss an upload, and hit the like button. So Eminem tweeted out of the blue that he was joining Sway on Shade 45, and this was the bit where he talked about the conversation he had with Michael Jordan.
You ever get a chance to meet Michael Jordan?
Not in person, but I talked with him on the phone one time, and we had, I don't know, Paul, if you remember this, but we were talking about doing some kind of shoe, like, together.
Yeah, it was one of the collaborations.
And I was on the phone with him. We were talking, and like, everything was cool. Like, he's super cool. Like, and everything was good until we get to the end of the phone call, and I said, "Yo, man, when are you gonna come to Detroit so I can dunk on you?" And it was crickets. And he was like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but I think he just kind of was like, like, laughed.
Yeah.
And I remember getting off the phone going, oh my God, I think I might have just blew it. Because it was, to me, in my head, it was a total joke, right? It's like, you know, it's so ridiculous for me to think that I could dunk on Jordan, right? So in my head, it's, you know, one of those things that you think is going to be funnier in your head than when you actually say it. So I don't know what happened after that. But, Paul, did I call you? I can't remember who I called right after that, but it might have been Paul. I don't know.
I think.
Now, of course, it was a joke, but we know most people just read headlines and come up with their reactions. Some are on point while others may have nothing to do with the conversation. And it's easy to know those who just read the headlines like this reply, the disrespect, or he must be joking. Of course he was, and another user stated, MJ did to him what Eminem did to Nick Cannon. And this would be applicable if Nick Cannon was actually joking with those diss tracks directed Eminem's way. But since he's still talking about it seriously today, it's not really applicable. Initially, some were waiting for Nick to say psych after those tracks, but they ended up looking like this shortly before they passed away. And it's funny to see Eminem getting bothered by someone, just shows how legendary Jordan really is. One user states, it's hilarious though to think the king of controversy was afraid he offended Michael Jordan. But perhaps a reason for Jordan's silence initially before the terrifying laugh was flashbacks from the rivalry between the Bulls and the Detroit Pistons in the late 80s to early 90s. Detroit Pistons employed what is known as the Jordan rules to successfully contain Michael Jordan on a couple of occasions. And as the saying goes, it goes the Da Vinci Code, the recipe for Coca-Cola, then the Jordan rules. So perhaps he went down memory lane of some of the toughest opposition he faced in his career when Eminem joked about him coming down to Detroit. Since Eminem thought about this joke not connecting how he wanted after the call, he probably thought of what I just said, an unintended double meaning from the joke. A user on Twitter added, I know Eminem making that joke to Michael Jordan about wanting to dunk on him, and MJ turning crickets has kept him up on many nights. And I see it like this, jokes are great icebreakers, but when you feel they don't connect in the intended way, it's all awkwardness. I'll throw this over to you guys. Imagine getting the chance to meet Eminem and making a joke about ending him on the mic, and he goes silent for a couple of seconds and reacts with a terrifying laugh that sounds like, quote unquote, don't play with me, boy. Share your thoughts below, like and subscribe if you haven't, and see you on the next one.